Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Welcome to the penultimate episode of 2024. It's Millwall, No One Likes Us Talking's, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Stan Godwin, Dave Hart and Steve Warren.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
On Tuesday afternoon, just before 1pm, Millwall Football Club confirmed that a mutual decision had been reached with Neil Harris to step down from his role as head coach following the Lions' trip to Middlesbrough this Saturday. Neil returned to the club in February 2024 with an immediate focus on steering it away from the relegation zone. He successfully achieved that after collecting 26 points from a possible 33. Chairman James Berylson said after discussions with Neil in recent days, he felt it was right to step down from his role following the Middlesbrough game, and I've accepted his decision. Welcome everyone, Stan, Dave and Steve.
Evening, Miles.
All right.
Evening, Miles.
Steve, I'll start with you. Neil Harris wrote to everyone on the club's website. He thanked the club, players and fans in that open letter. In closing, he said, "Being here always felt like home, as a player, as a captain and as a manager. We're a family and it's my life for so many years. But I always said when I returned that I would leave when the time felt right, and now is that time." What do you think about that decision, considering what had recently happened on and off the pitch and during his previous stint as manager?
Well, we just don't know what's caused the decision, but I think the booing after the Oxford game and the reaction after the Coventry loss certainly couldn't have helped. It was similar to his tenure before. You know, we had a few losses, and I think it was unwarranted then, and it's unwarranted now. Until last Saturday, we were 9 games unbeaten. We had won against some top teams and we were knocking on the door of the playoffs. So to all those moaning about the style of play, I would say we were playing to our budget. And quite frankly, we were and are punching above our weight. I've got no problem with attacking or defensive football. I just care that we win. That's it. That's all. If we win trophies. So, but, you know, fans aside, the structures behind the scenes are changing. And maybe he wanted more autonomy with players and hiring. We won't know that. With all the issues in the press lately about Remain and the coming window, you never know if that had a bearing. Maybe we'll lose him. You know, James Berylson's putting large sums of money into the club and he's changing it to what he wants. And but what he's putting in really is being dwarfed by the other clubs. You know, the Championship now is looking like a small Premiership. So, as I said before, we'll probably never know the reasons for him stepping down, but at least he did it with the club in mind. None of this walking away nonsense. He made a kind of an orderly withdrawal, allowing the club time to put things in motion. He clearly felt it was time to move on, and we as fans, we just need to respect that. He's left us in a good position with a squad. It's the biggest I can remember for years. And assuming we can retain players like Tanganga and Esse, I still believe we'll tear up a storm in the division and we'll do well. It's going to be up to Neil's successor to do that, but as with the Joe Edwards experience, I don't think we've got the players to play that kind of passing game. So I can't imagine it's going to look much different to how it does now. All that said, I'd like to thank Neil personally for what he's achieved since February this year, and the position he's got us into is great. So good luck to you, Neil, and best luck for the future.
I agree, Steve. Dave, an emotional day on Saturday as fans of both teams, players and former players, came together to acknowledge the passing of the only manager to have ever taken us to the top flight. How would you sum up what took place in memory of the late John Docherty?
Yes, Miles. Saturday's tribute to John Docherty was quite emotional, especially for me, having witnessed that those years of 88, 89. So it was very fitting for me to remember what he did, along with the team from then and the team we've got now, and the fan base. He actually achieved something that's never been done since. We all aim to be in the top flight. I never personally ever thought we'd ever get there, but those 2 years that we had in the top flight for me were absolutely wonderful. Having gone to nearly all the games, home and away, for both seasons, it was a time, it's a milestone in my life. It really was. And I was quite choked at the end of it on Saturday.
Stan, briefly tell us your thoughts surrounding our home defeats against Coventry on Saturday and Sheffield United on Wednesday. Is there light at the end of the tunnel, do you think, or more of the same ahead? And, well, God forbid Harris resigns on three losses.
So let me just say this. I mean, when we played Coventry on the other day, I mean, I thought it was a game of two halves. I thought in the first half, let me just say this. I think throughout the game, I think we played well, right? But it was a game of two halves. I mean, I think in the first half, we were the better team. And then I think in the second half, when Coventry come out, they were the better team. But, you know, I mean, as I've said before, we're playing good teams here, right? And as I say, to pick up the point that Steve made about the style of football, I mean, I've noticed, even under Harrison, I was surprised, I must admit, when he come back, because you know what my view was, but in fairness to him, he's not acted, he didn't carry on the way I thought he would do, and great credit to him for doing that. But we are now, in my opinion, a lot more entertaining, and we're in the game a lot more instead of keep chasing the ball after giving it away. But no, I thought on Saturday, I thought we played well. But as I say, I think Coventry were the better team in the second half. And then last night, it was very similar again. I mean, you've got a Sheffield United team coming down here, and they're being managed by one of the top managers in the division, Chris Wilder. You know, so you're not dealing with no mug, and you know that the team that he's going to put out and the way they're going to play is going to be very good. And as I say, I thought at times we was unlucky. The only criticism I'd have had last night, I don't understand why it is Amaku comes on when he does. He should have been on earlier. I just don't understand that. But no, I thought. I mean, I don't. Until when I was going home and I was walking up, I didn't hear anybody complaining about the way that we played and we should have done this and we should have done that. And I never heard any of that. So no, I mean, and then funny enough, we lost to Coventry, didn't we, Saturday, and they got beat last night themselves, right? So no, I'm not unduly worried. I just thought it was, but we played well, but we need to play better. That's my view. And as I say, I think perhaps now Harris is going, people like Amaku will get back in the team on a fairly regular basis. And when you consider that we've had Cooper, who's been told he's going to be out for 3 months, you've got a bloke sitting on the bench and he don't even get on the pitch, and that's Harding. How that works, I don't know.
We'll take a break there, though, and hear about our sponsor, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 81 3562. G&M Motors have been dear friends with the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Millwall Lionesses talking team of Stan Godwin, Dave Hart and Steve Warren. Many thanks to our sponsors, G&M Motors. Why not check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend? Our first guest looked like an elf on Saturday. Well, he was dressed like an elf. He's too tall to look like one. He was amongst many others who also appeared as elves, including me, and Santas, which included our Stan. Participants were visited a long-standing king who awarded them medals and a goodie bag. This is beginning to sound like a pantomime, but I'm no fairy godmother.
Oh, yes, you are.
You are.
Goodness me. Without saying anything else and no more pantomime digs, let's say hello to the man who heads up our Millwall Community Trust, Sean Daly.
Good evening, everyone.
All right, Sean.
Evening, Sean.
Evening, Sean.
Good evening, everyone.
Sean, before I hand you over to the panel, let's not leave the listeners guessing about your introduction. I was talking about last Saturday morning's annual Santa Dash, which was highlighted on social media. I caught up with one participant during my hectic dashing about. Millwall's annual Santa Dash took place this morning. Due to awful weather conditions, the race was run inside the Astro pitch of the Lions Centre, with a game of football held after it. It was all for a great cause and everybody had lots of fun. I spoke to James, a Millwall Romans player, to get his reaction afterwards. James, you done the Santa Dash this morning. Change of plans late on, but it was good. It was all for a good cause, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the weather didn't help. I think Storm Dara dampened the start of it slightly, but still managed to get the run in and some football, and obviously all for a great cause as well. So very much appreciated.
Well, that was short and sweet. Thank you, James. Sean, what was your take on the Santa Dash this year, despite some quite challenging weather conditions?
Yeah, I mean, got up on Saturday morning, stuff was blowing all over the place. Went into the stadium, pouring with rain. So we had to think quickly on our feet. So we came up with a couple of ideas, running up to maybe the park, Southwark Park, and then back. But health and safety wise, we decided that, those little kids that are taking part, you only get one of them blow into the road or something like that, the wind was bad. So we decided to take the whole lot inside, do a run inside, and then finish off with a Santa versus Elves football match. Thought it went really well. We weren't going to cancel. We just had to come up with Plan B. So no, it's great morning.
Yeah, I'd say I was very, very happy that it was done inside because I turned up like a drowned rat. But Brian King helped you out, didn't he, on Saturday?
Yeah, he's a great supporter of the Community Trust, and he's sort of the forefront about the former players, about honouring them and giving the Hall of Fame. So. He was great. He was coming. He comes in every time he passes the Community Trust. He always pops in and says hello. And I just said to him, look, we've had a bit of change around today on the old Santa Dash. Any chance of you giving the awards out here? And he was like, yep, not a problem. And I mean, you were there yourself, but you see how engaging he was with everybody. He took time out to speak to everybody he gave an award to. And I think that's the sort of thing that we've got with the players. They're great. He thanked every person for coming, and he's just a great person for it.
Yeah, I agree. I'll let the team talk to you now.
Hello, Sean. It's Dave here.
Hiya, Dave. You all right?
Yes, thanks, mate. Well done on Saturday with the Santa Dash, or as an elf. Now, the school holiday camps will soon be upon you. Are there a good number of children enrolled? And is there a capacity for others to join? Yeah, so we're, every school holidays we do the HAF project, which is the holiday activity and food camps, where you have to be on free school meals to attend it by the government. So we're doing 4 days. They're all going to be at St Paul's, 23rd, 24th, 30th and 31st. We've only been given by the council around about 60 places. We've already filled that up already, and we've got a waiting list of about 20 for each day. So it's going to be packed out. I'm just hoping the weather's going to be a little bit nice for the kids up there. Sean, do you think there's a possibility of a sponsorship for the camps?
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing we've looked at, and we've had a couple of chats with a few businesses. If you look at something like summer, 7,500 children went through that programme for the 6 weeks of summer. And we were speaking to a lot of businesses around, we get some money from government, we put some money in, the club do all the food for us as well. But we're looking for a business to sponsor the whole lot. But it's just trying to get that business over the line at the moment. But we've got a few irons in the fire. We are trying to work on it. But the government, I think the mayor said that he's guaranteed it for another 2 years for children on free school meals. So we are talking to a couple of organisations about whether it's not money, whether they can put in things like drinks or snacks for the children, and then we'll just carry on like that. So, yeah, we are working on it.
Yeah, all good stuff.
All right, hello, Sean. It's Stan here, mate.
Hi, Stan.
Yeah, John Scarborough is a very proud and extremely effective in organising the veterans' football. And he is your education and employability manager. I saw that he attended the Employment Related Services Association conference last week. He was in a highly rated company. What was John's role in what took place?
Yeah, so I think I said last time I was on the show, we do these job fairs where the DWP, which is Department of Work and Pensions, have come to us and said, look, could we host a few job fairs? They're trying to get as many employees in one place at once and then get young people to come to it. And I think there was an article in The Guardian, it was either last week or the week before, where the government said that they didn't feel that job centres were fit for purpose. And they didn't feel that it was attractive for young people to go to those job centres. And they felt like, they're a bit dated and some of the workers in there weren't sort of engaging. So they're looking at different places that they can sort of do these pop-up job centres. And we're hosting one now at the Lions Centre. So the conference was really about how John and the Trust has worked together with the Department of Work and Pensions to set up these pop-up job centres. Now, also at that conference was someone from Arsenal and someone from the Stadium of Light, Sunderland. So they've got the same sort of programmes at their place. So Sunderland, for instance, have got a Nissan factory right next to the stadium, and they actually have workers inside the stadium getting young people into work. Arsenal do stuff around hospitality at the stadium. So the conference was really about showing different ways that a football club or a non-government organisation can set up employment programs at their venue and attract young people in. And the big thing is, young people want to go to either music places or sports places. And if you said to them, look, there's going to be a job centre at Millwall Football Club, they're more likely to go that than go to, a government job centre. So that's what it was about, really. But it was just to show different ways that organisations can work with Department of Work and Pensions.
Hello, Sean. Steve here.
Hi, Steve.
Hi. Apologies for not making the centre dash. My knee just wasn't up to it. Hopefully next year.
I was going to say we got you down for next year already, so no problem.
All right. I'll get in training. Nonetheless, it's great to hear it was a success. I've seen that a SISU health station has been installed in the Lions Centre in partnership with Southwark Council. What is that SISU health station, and how and who can use it?
Sort of like end of last season, one thing I've been trying for years is to get these NHS or Southwark to have a health van at the games. And reason is, I always felt that in my old employment, we done it very well where we had a health bus at the stadium, because big thing is, through research is men find it very difficult to go to doctors. And if you had a pop-up health centre at a football match where 95% of the fans are men and it's being put on by their local football club, they're more attracted to go to it. And we were doing health checks for about 3 or 4 games last year. Very successful. So the NHS contacted me and said, look, we've got these free health checks machines that you have in a centre, and people can just walk off the street and use it. And what it does, it checks your height, your weight, your BMI, your blood pressure, your stress levels. And then what it does, it sends you an actual email to you and your doctor of your records of what you've done, your recordings. And it's free of charge. You know, anyone can walk in, fans, staff, anyone off the street, and just do a health check. And then what the doctors do, if someone's looking to get a health check, they'll redirect them. Say, look, the Lions Centre's got one, go down there and use it. So, you know, we've had a lot of people use it, staff have used it, a few people last week, a few of the elves and the Father Christmases before they did the run used it. But it's just a way of promoting people. If they're waiting to get to a doctor, and we know how difficult it is to get an appointment, they can literally walk into our centre and have a health check straight away. You know, cholesterol, BMI, blood pressure and stuff like that.
Sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, I mean, they phoned me and said, look, you know, great success at Health Bus. We'd like something permanent there for you. And they've just brought that in. So I need to promote it quite a bit after January. So it's going to stay there, I think, till the beginning of the summer. And then they're going to see how well it goes.
I might pop in myself.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's a great little machine. And I have seen them. I've seen them in doctor's surgeries. So.
Brilliant.
Former players, Sean, are becoming much more visible when working with the trust. We've recently saw Les Briley from the 80s and Brian King from the 70s involved in events. Can you tell us about this, and is it likely to become a more frequent occurrence in support of your activities alongside the player ambassadors?
I've always said that, you know, my biggest assets at the trust are, you know, my staff, but then players. You know, so when you get a player turn up at one of your projects and endorse what you do, it goes down so well with the participants and the outer reach people. But, you know, I'm very much about the ambassadors I've got at the club. You know, I've got 16 first-time ambassadors, but I'm very much about is that I grew up loving Millwall, not for the players that are here now, but the players that came through it. So the Les Brileys, the Terry Hurlocks and people like that. And they've got a place in the club as far as I'm considered. And that place needs to be recognised. And I want to involve players, former players, as much as I can. You know, I work with lots of other clubs like QPR. We've got a great former players programme. I went up to West Brom the other week to watch us against West Brom, but I went to have a look at their former players. And I've approached the club and I've said that as a community trust, we would like to set up a former players association where we can honour the players that have made this long history of this club. And I've got, you know, some great ones already. You know, we've got Les Briley, we've got Brian King, we've got Horney, we've got Wesley Reed and people like that. So I'm very much about recognising those players. So I want them to get involved in the work we do. You know, we've seen it with some of the players' evenings we have, you know, the captains' evenings, the icons we had the other day with Ben Thompson and Sean Williams. So I'm trying to get the former players more involved, but I want to set up a former players association, and I'm getting down the road with the club on it at the moment. So just watch this space.
No, good.
Hey, Sean, it's Dave again. On social media, I've noticed some faces that I'm unaware of as trustees of the Millwall Community Trust. In seeing those faces, I assume they are newcomers. Can you tell us a bit about them?
We've had a couple of trustees move on. So Roy Kennedy was one of my trustees for about 5-6 years. He's a Labour politician. Labour got in. He got a job as a whip in the House of Lords. So one of the rules is he's not to have any outside interest, so he had to step down. So we've brought in Will Cooper, who's a Labour councillor for the local area of Deptford. So he's come in as one of my trustees. Simon Hughes has done 9 years now as a trustee, and under the charity commissions you can only do 3 terms of 3. So Simon will be stepping down, he has stepped down now, so a new trustee will be coming in to replace him. I've also brought in a trustee, Nina, who's like a lawyer. It's one thing that we look at. We look at the skill set that we have as trustees. And I felt that we didn't have sometimes you will need that sort of information from a lawyer, of certain things. So I brought a trustee who's got a lawyer background. When we put out for new trustees, we don't have a shortage of people apply for it. We don't. We've got to that position where people want to be trustees, but we've got to make sure that those trustees have got skill set that will benefit the trust, because I don't want trustees that are just names. I want trustees that can help and support my staff going forward. So we've got two new trustees coming in, and then we've got a new one that's coming in to replace Simon in the new year.
Thanks for that, Sean. That's very interesting.
We're looking forward to speaking to Simon Hughes in the new year as well, having him on the show.
Simon has done 9 years with us. Great for us. He's been very influential in people like Southwark Council, very influential in St Paul's, getting us St Paul's. Great champion for the Community Trust and the work it does. Be sadly missed on the Board of Trustees. I used to ring him up if I had any problems and that, and he used to help sort me out. But it'd be great when he comes on. It'd be really good.
Spoke to him at one of the football camps, funnily enough. I think it was last season. Really, really nice guy.
Sean, Steve again.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, mate. Our Millwall Community Trust was recently presented with various awards for exemplary service to the community, including a Lifetime Achievement Award at the All Saints Community Awards ceremony. Can you please share the background on receiving these awards?
The church that is round the corner, which is on the Old Kent Road, which Father Owen is part of, contacted me about 3-4 months ago. Said they'd like to come down and just have a look at some of the stuff we do. They started a youth club and stuff like that. So they came down for a couple of sessions just to have a look around. They were blown away by some of the stuff that we were doing. And they went back to sort of the church and then realised that a lot of their people that come to their church are actually involved in the Millwall provision and the participants, etc. So they contacted me and said, we'd like to give you a lifetime award for the work that you've been doing constantly in the borough. And, 39 years, the Millwall Community Trust has been working in the borough of Lewisham and Southwark. I think there's some unbelievable stuff that we've done during that time. The supporting the Lewisham Hospital when it was going to be shut down. The work we do around feeding people that are on free school meals. The work we have done around diverting young people away from crime in the area. And so they contacted me and said, we'd like you to come down and receive an award. Also, we'd like to honour a couple of other groups within you. So one was the food bank and the other one was the walking football, which is, about getting older people into sport, etc. So I went down there thinking we were just going to get an award and there was going to be lots of people down there. And then they presented us with the Lifetime Award, which was an absolute honour.
Wow, it's brilliant. And, all the good work you do, it's so well deserved.
Yeah, I think that's what I was saying to my staff the other day is that, you can receive an award from like the EFL, which is great. But to receive an award from your local community is a real big one because they're the ones that are engaged in it, but they actually know the impact you're doing in that community because they're actually in there. So, no, I was very honoured to get that award.
Well done, well done.
Sean, we've got our prediction league.
Who's winning it?
I think it's Nick Wyve, isn't it?
Yes, it certainly is. He had a good weekend last weekend. He actually got 5 points last weekend.
There we go, Sean. So first of all, we've got Watford versus West Brom on Saturday. What do you reckon?
I'm going to go West Brom 1-0.
And Stoke versus Cardiff?
1-0.
And how about Middlesbrough versus Millwall, the big match?
Neil Harris's last game. I'd love a result up there, but I think it's going to be a tight game. So I'm going to go for 0-0.
Sean, thank you very much, mate. We're keeping our fingers crossed that one of our guests don't run away with it. Mind you, as we said, Nick Wyve has an enormous progress in the last few weeks, but Ted's going to be got to be ready for the next couple of months in coming up. Sean, having you on the show has been the most informative as usual. We look forward to talking to you again in the new year, as well as Simon Hughes, and all the best to you and yours. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everyone. Happy Christmas. Speak to you soon.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Sean.
Happy New Year, Sean. Good New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Sean.
Thank you very much, and yourselves.
We'll take a break there and hear about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a match day donation hub by the SE16 bar at Coleman Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Millwall Lionesses talking team of Stan Godwin, Dave Hart and Steve Warren. You can always donate at the Millwall Community Trust Lions Centre on Ballina Road. Additionally, you can always contribute money and, in particular, donate £30 to provide a Christmas hamper for those who can't afford it. Now then, let's hear from Ellis Barr.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks as always, Ellis. First up, let's hear from Paul Loading.
Hi, it's Paul Loading at the Millwall Romans with a little update for the week. First of all, congratulations to the Millwall Community Trust for providing an excellent centre dash again. Obviously, we were a bit restricted due to the weather and ended up inside, but I think that was probably the safest and best option. But the team had a good time there, as always. So, congratulations to Sean and the team there for putting that on. In terms of the Romans and Pride, both teams are in action this weekend, with Romans playing at home against Stoke FC. Stoke, big challengers for the league last year, haven't played them at all this year. So we're kicking off at 3:00 at St Paul's Sports Ground. Pride team also in action on Sunday, travelling away over to West London to Fulham to play against Barnes Stormers. That's a 1 p.m. kickoff. This week's predictions, I'm just going to try and do... going to hedge my bets a little bit. So I'm going to say Millwall are going to win that 1-0. I'm going to say Stoke Cardiff is going to be Stoke 1-0, and Watford against West Brom, I'm also going to say 1-0 against West Brom.
I reported on the Millwall Lionesses League Cup tie for Maritime Radio, in which they reached the quarterfinals of the League Cup last Sunday. Let's hear what I had to say.
Kiss Me on Maritime Radio. So the Millwall Lionesses progressed to the quarter-finals of the London and South East Regional Women's League Cup on Sunday. Our reporter Myles Thornton was there to report on the action.
This is Myles Thornton reporting for Maritime Radio. The Millwall Lionesses progressed to the next round of the London and South East Regional Women's League Cup yesterday, as Esme Johnson and Clara Watling both scored a brace for Millwall away to Bognor Regis women in blustery conditions. The game was meant to be played a week prior, but was called off at the last minute due to poor pitch conditions, despite the referee initially deeming it playable. Nevertheless, it gave the Lionesses an extra week to prepare. Ted Jones made 4 changes to the side, who were narrowly beaten by Dorking Wanderers last time out. Ella Bailey, Shay Bennett, Lucy Jellett and Maisie Joyce came out of the 11, with Billy Burgess, Flory Winfield, Alice Wood and Victoria Lasambo all starting in the game. Millie Connell made her return to the squad after 382 days out injured with an ACL tear. It was clear to see from early on that high winds in the south of England would play a big part in the game, and the best example of that was on 5 minutes when Kira Watling's effort went far astray. Watling came close yet again early on. Flory Winfield fed her the ball and her shot was inches away from going in. Millwall's pressure continued, however, and Esme Johnson was the first to take advantage of it. Assisted by Alice Wood, Johnson slotted the ball home to give Millwall the lead. Johnson was at it again after the break. She smashed home a beautifully taken goal to double the Lionesses' lead. Just 2 minutes later, though, Rhiannon Hambleton managed to get a goal back. Millie Carter played the striker through on goal, and she looped it over Anis Clara Wright in goal for Millwall. Hambleton and Bognor Regis scored again to level it up with just 20 minutes to go. Millie Carter again, who set it up. She whipped in a corner, and it fell to the feet of Hambleton, and she smashed it home. Millwall made sure to finish the game off well. and Esme Johnson linked up with Kira Watlin, who tapped in Johnson's delightful cross. Watlin wasn't finished there though. She found herself through on goal on 87 minutes, remained cool, calm and collected to score her second of the day. The Lionesses next face Haywards Heath Town next week at their home ground, Offsetful Sports Ground in the London and South East Regional Women's League. In the next round of the Cup quarter-finals, the Lionesses will face Herne Bay at home.
Thank you, Myles. We'll get an update from you at the weekend then as we follow the progress of the Millwall Lionesses. Back to your music right now. Here's Madonna. This is Vogue.
Well, there already is an update on that one, and it's not going to be Haywards Heath at home anymore on Sunday, get it right third time lucky. It will be Sporting Benfica away, so I don't think the Lionesses are off to Portugal, but Sporting Benfica away for the Lionesses on Sunday instead of Haywards Heath. Well, Stan, as the No Luck team member who will be presented with Kira Watlin's shirt at the end of the season, you must be pleased with her goal scoring prowess, having scored 7 goals so far this season from the centre midfield position.
Glad to see that she's firing on all cylinders and scoring these goals. Let's hope that she can keep it up.
Let's hope she can, and the rest of the team can maybe score another 7 as well. Who knows? As for the Lionesses, academy sides, the under 12s game was postponed. The under 14s one was a 5-0 win against Woking. The under 16s game was a 2-0 win against Billericay. The under 18s won 3-2 against Epsom and Ewell. Great stuff, girls. Keep it up. Next up for the first team is a trip to the lower northeast to face Middlesbrough in Neil Harris's final game as our head coach. Since COVID, Borough and ourselves have won 3 games each and drawn 2. On Tuesday, they were dealt a lesson at the hands of Leeds United and they fell to a 3-1 defeat. Middlesbrough's Michael Carrick responded to the result by defending his players and felt disappointment in the away dressing room at full time was evidence that Borough are on the right track. He said you can come here and look at their team and recent history and accept it and move on. But disappointment is a good thing. It shows we're at it and we can compete. He went on to say we've shown we're capable of beating anyone in this league and he looks forward to putting a great performance against Millwall at the Riverside Stadium on Saturday. If you believe betting odds have meaning for the weekend, a Millwall win is 4-1, a draw is 3-1 and a Borough win is 6-10 odds on favourite. What do we reckon then, team? It's not tight odds, and don't forget none of us should be making the same predictions as each other. Okay, so prediction game. First up, it's Watford versus West Brom. First up, it's Dave. Dave, what do you reckon, mate?
I'm going to go for a 1-0 West Brom win.
What about for Stoke versus Cardiff?
That's going to be a 2-0 win for Cardiff.
And last, but already spoken about, Middlesbrough versus Millwall, Harris's final game.
This is going to be a very, very tight game. And I just hope it goes that way. I'll go for a nicked 1-0 win for Millwall.
Bit like last time out of the Riverside Stadium then. Stan, what's your predictions for Watford versus West Brom?
I think Watford will win 3-2.
Okay.
Stoke and Cardiff, I think that it will probably be a 2-2 draw.
And what about Millwall versus Middlesbrough, mate?
I think Millwall will win by the odd goal, so we say 2-1.
Okay. Steve, Watford versus West Brom, please, mate.
Okay, for that one, I'm going to go for a draw, 1-1.
Okay. Stoke versus Cardiff?
2-0 to Stoke.
And what about Middlesbrough versus Millwall?
I think we're going to go out flying. I think it's going to be 2-0 Millwall.
Okay. For Watford versus West Brom, I'll go 1-0 Watford. So Stoke versus Cardiff, I'm going to go with 3-1 to Cardiff. And last but not least, Middlesbrough versus Millwall, I'm going to go 3-1 Millwall then. Adventurous. We've also got predictions from Nick Wythe of Millwall Facebook Sicily site. Let's hear what Nick predicts.
Hi guys, here's the predictions from Nick Wythe. Middlesbrough 2, Millwall 0, Stoke 1, Cardiff 1, and Watford 1, West Brom 1. Special message for Ted. Ted, it's Nick here. Just to let you know, I understand that I am now in front of you on the prediction league, and I will hold you to your promise of a slap-up meal. Manzies have just opened up a new shop, specialising in their pie and mash, of course. And it's in New York. Cheers.
Yeah, he doesn't ask for much, Nick, does he? Thanks for that, mate. And thanks to Dave Hart, who collates the results and provides the prediction league table, which Nick is obviously top.
Hi, Nick. I just think you've got that wrong there. That Manzies that's open, I believe it's New Cross, not New York, but happy to buy it any time, mate.
Well, that's Ted's response to Nick there. Thanks to Ted, thanks to Steve, thanks to Stan, thanks to Dave, who gave his prediction and collates the results and provides the prediction league table, of which Nick Wythe is at the top. Well, as always, that is ridiculously funny, and yeah, I get what Phil means about being last. The added handicap of not being able to exact the same predictions as each other is entertaining every week, and I'm sure you enjoyed my confusedness. It's now time for Phil Coleman's Tales from the Boot Room.
Hello everyone, Phil Coleman here with a few more tales from the boot room. I'm going to spend some time with this tales to talk about the late great John Docherty, who we sadly lost a while ago. I owe Doc quite a lot. 3 years of being in professional football was down to the Doc. He took me back to the Den in the summer of 1986 for my second spell. He gave me a contract, and I was actually on more money than my brother, so he called me brother in, and he got a pay rise to match me. So he was fair like that, the Doc. And I played quite a bit in the first season, 86, 87. Had the absolute pleasure, and not many people get to do it, of playing beside my brother in the first team in what was the old Division 2, the Championship now. And playing with Ted up front and Alan McCleary, Alan Walker in that first season, some great memorable games. And start of the following season, I had a wire up in my toe, big operation, out for 4 months. And by the time I got back fit, that first team pretty much picked itself. And they went on a run from Christmas, won the league, got promoted into Division 1, and the rest is history. But just being around that bunch, in come Terry Hurlock, Tony Cascarino, Callie returned for a second spell, Dean Horrocks returned for a second spell. Me and Dave Memmott were already there from start of 86. Steve Wood came in and won the league, but I was a part of it. We had a fantastic reserve team. Paul Sansom in goal, myself, and quite a few of those players that weren't in the first team. We had a pretty hefty, pretty neat reserve team. At the end of that season, got promoted, and I remember the Doc called me into his office and said, you haven't played much this year. He said, I'm not sure whether you're going to play next year. He said, but I can tell you now that a mate of mine, Billy Hodgson, he's interested in signing you. And I thought, oh, that's all right. Where is he? He said, what club's he at? He said, he's in Finland. And I remember saying to myself, where the hell's Finland? Anyway, a couple of days later, I flew out to Finland. I had a great deal. The Doc paid up my mortgage for the 7 months I was in Finland. Went over there, had a great time playing abroad, great experience with the family, and came back at the end of the season. That was pretty much my career in a nutshell there. But I thank the Doc for the 2 seasons he gave me. We were a top team in Division 2 and a great experience playing in Finland. We got together, the team of 88, the whole squad got together last Saturday. We were planning to see the Doc because he'd been struggling with cancer for a couple of years, but sadly he passed away in the week leading up to our reunion. But we still got 21 players back, and that included Peter Melville, the physio, Frank McClintock, the coach, and the Doc's daughter and grandson. And we walked into the Den, and it was like we'd never been apart. The Doc got us back together last Saturday. Great to see players. Some of them I'd never seen for decades, like George Lawrence, Danny Salmon, Steve Amphibus, and not seen them for a long time. Tony Cascarino, Teddy Shireen. When Ted walked in the door, he just looked like he was ready to play. I actually said to him, you look like you're playing weight. We all had stories about the Doc. We reminded ourselves about games that we had. One in particular was Brighton away on New Year's Day in 1987. You know, we scored. Michael Marks, who was there, scored after a few minutes, and we defended the second half. And I remember my brother Nick's wife saying the end that you was defending was brown and the end that Brighton were defending was green. There was 3 of us in the doctor's office after I got 5 stitches across my head. But we also talked about some of the injuries we've had, and some have struggled. My hip replacement pales into insignificance with some of the operations and some of the cancers that those players have fought. But yeah, they're gutsy guys, and we're all still together. There were 3 young players as well: Dave Thompson, Steve Antrobus and Alan Dowson, and they were our apprentices, and they were my apprentices. They sorted out my kit, they sorted out our boots and cleaned our boots. But one thing that stood out absolutely made my day when I heard them talk about how I helped them out in reserve games. I was the senior pro in the reserves, and I couldn't get in the first team in that 87-88 season. But to hear people like Steve Amphibus saying you looked after us, that says a lot. Although I did have to apologise to Dave Thompson, because the first reserve game I played when I first came back under the dog, it was me and Dave Thompson at the back, and we went away to Southampton's reserves. And I looked at the team sheet at 2:00 and I said, Tomo, you take the big striker and I'll take the quick one. First challenge, goalkeeper kicks it out. First challenge from the centre forward, he's put his elbow straight into Tomo's nose and broke his nose, blood pouring everywhere. I knew it was coming because that centre forward was Joe Jordan. So after all these years, I've had to apologise to Tomo for basically having his nose smacked in. I love those guys, fantastic set of players, so down to earth, so easy to get on with, and one common bond, and that was the Dock and Millwall Football Club. And we also never forgot Dean Horrocks and Dave Memmott, who I mentioned earlier. We had a little drink for them after. And so rest in peace, Doc. Thanks for my time. Thanks for everything you've done bringing this team together again last Saturday. A lot of us owe you a heck of a lot for great careers. Rest in peace, Doc. Bye for now.
Lovely words, Phil. As you say every week, the stories just get better and better. We'll take a break there and hear what's on offer at Fisher Football Club.
Hi, I'm Paul, a Millwall and Fisher FC supporter. There's always been strong links between our clubs, and as such, Fisher FC would like to remind Millwall season ticket holders and supporters club members that entry to watch Fisher is just a £5 if you show your card at the gate.
Well, thanks, Paul, and a personal thanks for sharing all the Bermondsey Town stuff as well. Really appreciate it. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me are the Millwall Lionesses talking team of Stan Godwin, Dave Hart and Steve Warren. If you're not going to the Riverside Stadium to watch the Lions this Saturday, why not pop along to St Paul Sports Ground in Rotherhithe with a 3pm kickoff and watch third place Fisher entertain Erith and Belvedere in the Southern Counties Eastern Football League for your live football fix. And I'll tell you what, third place Fisher, they are doing unbelievably this season under AJ. He left last year, came back towards the end of the season. Yeah, he's doing unbelievable this year, so really, really pleased for them. Our second guest is joining us on the show for the first time. He's supported Millwall as a season ticket holder since the new Den days and can be found at the Coldblow Lane stand on match days. I understand that his new location is not too far from where our stand is in that stand. Too many stands in that sentence. Let's welcome Millwall fan Father David Sherratt from the Anglican Church of St Michael and Angels in Abbey Wood. Hello, David.
Hello, great to be with you.
Fantastic. Firstly, David, before I hand you over to the panel, was becoming a Millwall fan an option, or was it your destiny?
Well, I wasn't brought up a Millwall fan. I was being brought up a football fan, and in fact, I was brought up in Chatham, so I should be a Gillingham fan, I think. My cousin was a very big Gillingham fan and was on the board and stuff, but I didn't really. He was much older, but I didn't know him, so I didn't. My dad didn't play football, so I wasn't brought up with football, but gradually over time, I sort of got into it. I think it was meant I was going to become to Millwall, actually. I had old friends at school who were Millwall and things, and it wasn't until I came to my parish I sort of met a load of other Millwall people and got drawn in. So I'm a convert, so I'm probably worse. It's like religious converts, they're always the worst sort.
Hi, David. Steve here. You'll have watched many games over the years, but what's your most memorable?
The most memorable? Oh, I don't know. Well, there's one or two. There's one or two for the wrong reasons. There was a Gillingham away once where it just poured rain, and I remember our hair gels sort of came down with this funny taste. I think it was a hair gel, washing gel. I had hair in those days, but that wasn't because of the football. It was just the experience of being the horrible away end and things. I think probably it's some of the Wembley games. I think actually is the first Wembley I went to, which was the 2008 playoff, something like that, 2009 one, which we actually lost in the end, but we equalised halfway through, I think, with Gary Alexander and things like that, and I think it was just the atmosphere, and I can remember actually going to it and coming down the tube at London Bridge, and it's just a sea of blue and Millwall, it was just...
Yeah,
but
you saw a great goal that day then as well.
Yes, so that was I think that's my favourite of the games, actually. But obviously, it's like the last, Wembley game, things like this were good. But I think that's my favourite.
Cheers.
Yeah, David, it's Stan Godwin here, mate. How are you? All right?
Fine, yeah.
Good. I must say, when I see you in Sainsbury's the other day, I was somewhat surprised because I'd never seen you in the formal dress before. So it did sort of shock me. Well, not shock me, but I was surprised. Anyway, right. What were your thoughts on the Sheffield United game, and from now on, who do you think was our key player?
Right. I think we actually played very well against Sheffield United. I mean, obviously we lost, and it was a rather stupid goal we let in. But it shows how much we've improved, what's there, the attitude of the players. It was a shame we lost, From where we looked, it looks as if our goal went in, but it clearly didn't. But you looked at it was just a post when you looked at the actual television. But so I think we improved an awful lot. Our stronger players, I quite like Romain Esse, but I think probably our strongest is Tanganga, really. He's got that sort of muscle and there's something about him, actually. So I think that's probably our strongest player at the moment. I could do a bit more like him, I think. We have a bit more strength in a way. Yeah.
Hello, David. It's Dave Hart here.
Yep.
Next Sunday, as Neil Harris departs and we await a new head coach, looking beyond who that might be, do you think we need reinforcements in the January transfer window? And where do you think we'll finish in the Championship at the end of this season?
We certainly need something in the more in the centre, centre forwards and stuff. And that's where we're weak. So I'm not sure I'll get any names, but that's where we need to transfer people in. It depends what the new manager thinks and does, but that's our weakest area. We have stronger defence, but we need new blood there, I think. Where are we going to finish?
I know it's a difficult one, but
honestly, again, we don't think what the new manager's going to be like and how the interim period. But I think we're going to finish mid-table. Somewhere. I don't think we're going to make the playoffs this year, but I'd have put us around about 14th, 15th, something like that. Not well away from the relegation area, but not quite up into the playoffs and the top of the table.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout. That's not a bad shout. Yeah.
David, we have a prediction league called Ted's Prediction League. Could you predict the goals or lack of them for the 3 following games? First of all, Watford versus West Brom.
I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go a 0-0 draw.
0-0. Okay, lack of in that case then. Stoke versus Cardiff. What do you reckon?
I think it'd be 2-1. Stoke 2-1, Stoke 2, Cardiff 1, something like that.
Okay, and finally, but not at least, it's Middlesbrough versus Millwall.
It's whether it's my heart or my mind here, but I'm going to go with my heart. They're going to come out for Neil Harris's last game, so I think it's going to be 0 to Middlesbrough, 1 to Millwall.
Okay, David, thank you very much, and I hope you pick up the points with those predictions. You could be a winner.
We never know. I'm not sure God's my side though. Myself, yes.
David, thank you for coming on, sharing your thoughts about Millwall. We appreciate you coming on to the show and look forward to hearing from you again in the future. All the best to you and yours at Christmas and for the new year.
So to you. Bye.
Cheers, David.
Yeah, see you, David.
Okay.
Cheers, David.
Cheers.
We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany explain how you can support the Millwall Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust is something that I, Bethany Manctalo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985 to provide sporting, educational, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. Donating to the Millwall Community Trust is easy. Visit their website and click on the Get Involved section. There are also sponsorship opportunities. To support this work, email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That's commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. If you can, please help them to continue their vital work.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes This talking team of Stan Godwin, Dave Hart and Steve Warren. If you can donate, you will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all of their programmes across all age groups to people within our community. Well, we're all looking forward to the next game, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and all of those interested in football.
Our Millwall Community Trust Pan Disability Programme is open to anyone with a disability and allows them to participate by attending their weekly football sessions. This programme aims to enable individuals to gain a positive experience from participating in regular footballing activities while promoting a positive attitude and providing a safe space to meet other young people from similar backgrounds. The personal approach to coaching allows individuals to feel part of the collective team while striving to complete any personal goals that they have set themselves. The Pan Disability football team also competes in regular local matches against other Pan Disability football teams in the area. All sessions are on Friday evenings at the Lions Centre, Ballina Road, SE16 3LD at the following times. Severe learning difficulties, 5 to 5:30 p.m. 12 to 17-year-olds, 5:30 to 6:45 p.m. 18 plus adults, 6:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. To learn more, go to the Millwall Community Trust website under the community section where you'll find a link to the Pan Disability Football.
Myles will present next week's final show of 2024 and Jeff, Ted and Gary will join him on the panel. Don't forget to tune in. Additionally, our monthly show will return live on Maritime Radio on Saturday evenings starting in January. Watch out on social media and listen to this show for further details.
Millwall Lionesses return to league action, supporting Benfica away at Rectory Park, Norfolk, UB5 5FA. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. Why not get down there to see what could be a fantastic game and help the Lionesses get back to where they belong?
Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes This talking team bring reports from our games both home and away for the Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride. You can also hear updates on the Millwall Community Matters too on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM across South London and North West Kent. We can be found on Instagram, Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, SoundCloud and all popular podcast sites. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Myles.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, cheers, Myles.
And thanks, Dave.
Thanks, Myles.
And thank you all for listening. Don't forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Good night.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.